Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Crime Circus cult. My name is Drip Drop, and I'm the host of this channel and Crime Circus. Tonight, I present to you a special feature presentation that was requested from a subscriber of mine. A couple months ago, he left a comment and asked. He asked if I could look into the case of his best friend Jathaniel Jordan McMichael, who claims he is innocent of the crimes he's in prison for, even though he makes multiple confessions during 2 different interviews that I have on these audio tapes. Is it a false confession like Brendan Dassey, or is this man guilty? Jathaniel was 18 years old at the time of these 2 interviews. Yes, I'm presenting 2 interviews inside of 1 YouTube video again. I'm kinda famous for this and I just keep doing it, because I'm not all about getting more clicks on more videos. I try to give you the best experience possible. To give you a quick recap on this case to make this introduction short as possible, Jathaniel Jordan McMichael was 18 years old, and his best friend Bobby Lee Black III was also 18 years old. There was also a third boy involved. He was 17 years old, and he was the getaway driver. Allegedly, these teenagers terrorized 2 senior citizens in Pasco County, aka Trashco County, Florida. I can't tell you all the crimes they were accused of, because that wouldn't be good for the channel. But these 2 senior citizens had all the bad things imaginable happen to them on this planet. All the things nightmares are made of. Is my subscriber's best friend guilty or not guilty? That's not up to me to decide. A juror has already made that decision, and he's been appealing that decision ever since. You, the viewer, if you can make it through these audio experiences, maybe you can make a decision down in the comments below. Unfortunately, there's no video interrogations here. This is audio only, and the original audio files were some of the worst audio I've ever heard in my life. I spent hours reworking them and doing what I could. For some of you, the audio will be unlistenable. It starts off pretty bad, and it does get a little better throughout. But if you can't hang, no worries. I've got other content in the works, and it's always coming soon. Either way, I'll be listening to these 2 interviews right here with you. Now let's see what Jathaniel has to say for himself at 18 years old.
That's it, right? We gotta get a little bit more sign. Thanks, but then thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll work it up on that.
Do you know a Jeff Harrington up in Dade City? No?
I really don't know many people in Dade City.
You don't?
Because I really don't know Dade City.
You don't at all?
Not really.
You know any? How about a guy, Raymond Stone, that goes up to Pasco High? No? How about Danny, I think his name is Bender, Danny Bender?
Danny definitely doesn't ring a bell.
Danny Bender doesn't? They call him Little D?
Little D? I might have heard of someone named Little D, but I've never seen him.
No? Nothing at all?
We'll see.
You know anybody up in Dade City who's been doing some burglaries?
I haven't heard. Like I said, I really don't go to Dade City. Because I already know Dade City is really hotter and everything already because of the burglaries and everything. So, I just try to stay away from Dade City because Dade City is a big problem out there.
How about Corey Stone?
Corey Stone.
Doing some burglaries down Zephyr Hills around, you know where the high school is? That's Henry Drive?
Yeah, I know the street on Henry Drive.
Do you know anything about what's been going on around there?
I didn't hear about Henry Drive. Only place I heard about was someplace on C Avenue, and then.
Well, C Avenue and Court Street. You know the Orange Blossom condominiums there.
Yeah.
You know where that church is at C Avenue and Court Street. There's that church right there. Them condos. People have been breaking into them condos. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't find out about that one. Somebody just told me that.
They did.
You just told me that.
We got we got some fingerprints out of some of those burglaries, but we're just hearing those names.
But then where do you live? I used to live over there I live east of me. I live with Bobby.
Right.
I used to live over there with my mom on Burn Avenue, 18th Street. Right. And then I moved over there, I'd say maybe a couple months. Okay, but where you living now? I'm living with Bobby. Are you living with Black? Yeah. Where do you live with Black? Where do you live? Oh, you live where I live? You have a room? I live in the same room. You sleep in the bed, I sleep in the so you guys are sleeping in the same bedroom. Mm-hmm. Okay, how long you been living there with him?
Say for around the past. They just let me out, say 2.5 weeks.
About 2.5 weeks.
I say so.
Okay. Do you go to school?
Yes, sir.
What school you go to?
CHS.
When's the last time you really attended school?
It's been a little bit limited. But like this year, I was messing up, on and off, going to school. When I did get school, that was when I was with my mom. And I was at home at that time. So that any other time I would be at school just messing around. But like after spring break, because I know spring break starts next week, shouldn't it? Right. After spring break, I'm try to enlist back in the school to make sure I'm still there.
Gotcha.
That way I can make sure for the summer school, I can make up my credits for this year so I can graduate, because I'm not only missing, I think, 1 credit from my last year.
So you're planning on
I should be able to graduate this summer.
Okay. So how long you know Black?
Me and Bobby, we go back. How far is it? I say since I was 16.
16 years old. So it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
You and Bobby stand together. You about the same height? You're a little shorter.
I'm not sure.
Is Bobby bigger or smaller than you, body frame? If I look the two of you together, who looks smaller, you or him?
I think if I show the arm size, he might be a little smaller.
He might be a little smaller, so you might be a little bigger than him.
Is he athletic like you? Did he play football or anything like that?
Yeah, he played football with me 1 year on D-Top. He went to the Super Bowl.
Where'd your girlfriend think you being laid up in here?
Oh, I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, you don't?
I'm on the free move.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
how come you didn't bond out?
Because I got R1.
Oh, you weren't trying to get out as soon as they arrested you last night?
I
I got misdemeanor shit.
I
I
mean,
know it was only a little bit misdemeanor because I just got close to the thing.
right.
I didn't have any money. Everything that I had on me, I told him to give to my mom.
How much was that?
All I had was like $30.
$30. How'd you get that?
$30.
You don't work, that's why I have to ask you.
Working with Brennan's dad, Phil Smith. He owns like a, working company where he builds, how they put the windows and doors, the frames of houses and things.
Yeah, new
So
construction.
I go out there once in a while with him because he lets me work in and he pays me $50 a day.
Oh, so you don't have to install windows?
Yeah.
Oh,
And when I went up to Brooklyn, my godfather, he showed me how to, me and him built the whole bathroom, like under garage bathroom. He put the whole piping, he put the toilet in, he put the sink in, he put the whole piping in to the floor and all that.
So it's not really hard for you, it's not hard to replace these, especially in these trailers.
Yeah.
Like a really tinny.
No, not that. It was a new window, brand new window.
The houses.
Brand new, like big contract.
Right, gotcha.
Like brand new.
Like color windows. And
Yeah, like big white, the big white luxury, heavy ones.
Okay.
Did you make good money or?
Yeah, we just made like $50 a day, but I just do that once in a while whenever he lets me work with them.
Does he pay you cash or?
Yeah, he pays me $50 cash.
Yeah.
Every day is $50.
Have you had a job where you actually get a paycheck or you haven't had?
Taco Bell.
How was that?
It was straight. It was a nice first job. I worked there for about 6 months. I said.
You got tired of that?
Well, actually, the death of my grandmother was
Yeah.
At your house. How long did you work at Taco Bell?
like 5 months.
5 months. When did you quit?
Uh,
It's now March.
it was last year.
Last year, so it was before Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Before Christmas.
So before Christmas.
Probably before Thanksgiving.
Oh man, so we're talking
a little bit earlier than Thanksgiving.
So we're talking November, December, January, February, March. 6 months you haven't been working other than the side job. When was the last time you had a side job?
Last time I worked on the side job about like 2 weeks ago.
It's about 2 weeks ago, and that was
sometimes I go back to my mom and she gives me a couple dollars. I'm really trying to get another job right now. That's why I hope this doesn't mess me up.
Well, what do you do during the day if you're not working?
If I do, I'm chilling out over the body most of the time.
Yeah.
Not doing nothing.
What's he doing?
I guess he's trying to find a job. I don't know.
Okay, so both you guys are working.
I know I'm definitely trying to find a job for sure and get back into the school too. That's why the spring break. Hopefully I can do these overtime hours have a little bit of money set for me when I go back to school.
Listen, man, if you're going to start living the straight life, man, you got to stop smoking weed, man.
Yeah,
Yesterday, you looked like you were a little high, man.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I understand.
You know, and that schoolwork doesn't go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that going.
You know, and I'm sure your mama doesn't want you out there running around, you know, getting high and, you know, just hanging out. Because when you're hanging out, you know.
That's how I'm trying to get my diploma every weekend.
What does Mr. Bobby do for a living? I just got curious. What does he do? I mean, he's not working, right? So how's he get on?
He really doesn't get money.
I don't. Not really.
Those girls that were over there, was one his sister yesterday?
Yeah, one was his sister, the other one was his sister's girlfriend.
And her name's Jackie, right?
Yeah, his sister's girlfriend named Jackie.
Yeah. Is that, they're just friends, or
Well, I think that's her girlfriend.
you see them together? Or
Yeah,
you do?
girlfriend.
Their girlfriend? Now, does Jackie live there or no?
No, she lives about over there somewhere near Pretty Pond. I forgot where. You know, that one gas station behind Walmart.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Since you got so much time on your hands, you know, we just thought maybe you knew a little bit more about some of the burglaries that are going on.
Not really, because I remember how they were asking about Andre. See, I knew Andre a little bit, but I didn't hang out with him because I tried to tell Bobby, hey, man, you better be careful with him. He's a reckless one. You know what I'm saying?
What's he up to? Andre.
I haven't heard from him. Thanks. Remember when Bobby said, like, he stopped talking to him? That's the last day I seen him. I didn't even say anything to him that day. I just kept my mouth shut.
Were you with him when he got arrested, Andre?
Mm-mm.
No?
Where was I? I think I was chilling over on 9th Street with just Chris and them, and they told me that he got arrested.
What did they tell you what for?
I think it was possession.
Possession of dope?
I think so.
Yeah. They took his car too, didn't they?
Yeah, they impounded it.
Were you ever in his car?
I was in it maybe a couple times. Yeah, I was in it a couple times, but affiliation, that was like a couple of rides. I was like, can you take me here? Can you take me to school? Take me to get something to eat? Anything else? Nah.
Okay, when was the last time you were in the car?
I give you a bit. 5 months, like 4 or 5 months, like
5 months?
no.
You didn't go to a party with those cats or recently? You, Bobby, and him? Like within a month or so? You didn't roll up to a party or hang out with anybody?
I went to a party, but I didn't go to a party with Andre.
No, was he there? Or did he show up?
I didn't see him there because after I went to the party, it was just me and Bobby at the party. Then Bobby stayed there, and I left with somebody else to go to the club out in Eastport just to walk the street and stuff.
Who'd you leave with?
I left with Mike, Floyd, Chris, Dave, and
Let me write it down.
Oh, Michael Floyd straight, Tiffany Dave straight. Mike was one of the best people on the football team last year.
Yeah?
What's the names again?
Michael Floyd, and Chris McDade, and Chris McDade.
McDade?
Okay.
Did they go to Zephyr High?
Well, I think that might go to
Okay. Was that the last party you were at with Bobby? Like gathering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
How long ago was that?
I say that was a month ago, maybe.
About a month ago.
Yeah, about a month or two.
Did Bobby get busted with
I heard he got busted with Andre, but I wasn't with him.
Right. Oh, I know that.
What do you say about that to you? I mean, you and him are tight. You live together, roll together.
All he said was, that man got me in some shit and I don't want to fuck with him no more. Because he was really reckless. And I tried to tell him that Andre's reckless.
And how do you know that? I mean, what is that, a gut feeling or?
Gut feelings. And plus, I'm saying I've been with him a couple of times. He's driving. He's a reckless driver. So, of course, by the personality from how somebody drives, of course, that's their personality to some degree. And the way I've seen him act against some people when he rides down the road and yells at them or something. So I'd be like, nah, that is not me.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you. You sure he wasn't at that party?
I'm positive. I didn't see him.
I think Bobby told me that he was at that party.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see him, honest to God.
Was Bobby's sister at that party?
Nene was there.
Yeah, Nene. Yeah, she was there.
Okay. You want to know? Let me ask you something. Yes, sir. You're tight with Bobby, right? Yes, sir. You sleep with him, as far as the same room I'm talking about. So, would you lie for him?
No, sir.
Come on. You wouldn't lie for him. Come on.
Regarding
No bullshit.
something.
This is very serious. We're here for. We're here for some serious shit, man. For us, this is the only time we're going to be talking to you about some of this shit that we're going to be talking to you about. You understand? All right. Okay. So you would never lie for Bobby. No, sir. Okay. Bobby lied on you. I can save his ass. Think about it. You got to think real hard.
Bobby lied on me.
Bobby lied on you. I can save his ass.
He may not.
Okay.
I really can't say the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Who's got more going for him, do you think? You or him?
I think he,
He's not going back to school, is he? No.
I'm trying to go back to school. You know what I need to do.
Well, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? And the start is, not doing this shit, okay? And staying away from reckless people, okay? No one's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And people make mistakes. And it's kind of like, the mouse in the mousetrap when he gets caught? He'll do anything at that point to get out, won't he? Well, sure he will, right? That's human nature, okay? And people that you think are, when it comes down to it, I'm tight with him. But the bottom line is, if you're out in the ocean, you're drowning, you're going to do whatever you can to save yourself. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
Okay. It's kind of like fighting that football pile. When the coach throws it down and says loose ball, are you going to go for it?
Yes, sir.
That's right. And sometimes on special teams, when they throw the ball down, that's the only way you get to start. That's the only way you get to run on the field is if you get that ball first.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes, in this business, we like to give that person the opportunity to get the ball first.
Yes, sir.
And kind of that's like where we're at today with you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We want you to get the ball first.
Yes, sir.
And we want to talk to you about some things that happened the other night. We just wanted to find out maybe, where you were at and that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right. Because we want to make sure that you get a fair shot.
I appreciate that.
Do you feel me?
I appreciate that.
The other night, on Monday night,
Yes, sir.
we just wanted to know, maybe kind of find out where you were.
On Monday night,
Yeah.
I was over there by 18th and B. I was swimming over there. Went to 9th Street for a little bit.
Where?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Oh, I seen Chris McVay, seen Todd. I seen
Todd who?
Todd Floyd.
When was this? What time?
I say about, let's see, that should have been, it was before it got dark, so I say 5:36.
5:36. And were you just walking or riding your bike?
No, we were chilling over there at his house.
You and who?
I mean, the people that I just said right there.
Yeah.
We were just chilling at that house, the house over on 9th Street.
Whose house is it?
It's his mom's house.
Chris McDade's mom's?
It's his mom's house.
Okay. Was Bobby with you?
He was with me for some time. Then he went with me later on.
When did he show up?
I'd say 25, 30 minutes after.
25, 30 minutes after you showed up. And then all you guys were at this place, hanging out.
And how'd you get there?
How'd I get there? I walked.
Did Bobby walk too, or
He met me over there with the car.
what car was that?
His mom's car.
What kind of car was that?
It's a white Malibu, I think. Yeah.
So he rolls up at about 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Do you leave with him?
Yeah, I love with him.
And what time do you guys leave? Around 7?
Yeah.
And where do you go from there?
We went back to his house and chilled for a little bit.
So what time do you think?
No, babe, yeah, actually, we chilled there pretty much at night. We chilled there at night. Because we came.
You chilled here that night?
No, we chilled, what I'm saying is we were here.
Yeah.
At that time, when we went back to his house, we chilled there for most of the night. The only time we came out the house was we sat out front, smoked a cigarette, and this dude, the repo man, came outside looking for and Betty Merrill's mom's dad. I mean Betty Merrill's mom, Miss Ann, because I guess he wanted to repo her truck, and we were giving him information on how to repo the truck, and we were just waiting outside so he.
You don't know who the repo man is?
Who's the side truck? What did it say?
I have his card. I left it. His name is Jerry Chris. Jerry Chris.
Something like that. Okay.
And so you guys stayed from 7 p.m. till
Like 7 p.m. Then we came outside. I say 11:30.
So you're outside, just you and Bobby.
Yeah, just sitting on the front of the. We were sitting on the back of the cover bumper.
Okay, thank you.
That's when he showed up.
the repo man. So you're chilling at the car, 11:30 p.m. You guys, maybe you doing a little blow up, smoking a little weed, blunts.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you guys do then, man?
He came. He asked us for a repo truck.
Right.
So we called Miss Ann and found out where she was. So we tried to tell her where she was. She was over there about this frame. And so I was trying to tell Bobby we should go with him. And he was like, nah, man, nah. So we just sat there and waited for him.
Till what time?
I say 12:45.
12:45. You were outside. Anybody else out there with you guys, or?
It was the old dude across the street.
Was he outside with you, or just outside chilling?
Living outside with us, he was outside chilling.
What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Just the guy right across the street from.
Bobby might know his name because he wanted. I just moved over there, so I really don't know all the names.
White guy or black guy? The old man.
I think he's white. Old, white, old dude. I don't know. Because Bobby was something to show me with him. I just feel like going for the day.
And then after you did all this and the repo guy came, you told him what they got the car, then what you guys said?
We just went over to, on Truth, we went over to 19th and C. We seen Ashley. She was with a boyfriend. We knocked on the door. We asked her to
19th Street?
Yeah, we asked her to take us to the store. So we did buy some beer and some cigarettes and stuff.
What's Ashley's name? Last name?
Ashley, what's her last name? What is Ashley's name? I have no clue what Ashley's last name.
Where does she live?
She lives on the corner of 19th and C. She drives that red Chevy Cavalier.
Okay. Red Chevy Cavalier.
Yep.
She live alone?
No, she was with her boyfriend.
What's his name?
I don't know. She is a new dude. He was the one that bought her beer for us. So I don't know. It was some guy.
Okay. What time is that? You say around?
I say that was around. That might have been around
2 in the morning. Had to been before 2 if you buy beer, right?
Well,
Because 2 o'clock you can't buy beer after 2.
My beer.
Yeah. So it must have been before 2.
It might have been a little bit before 2 because I remember
Who went to the store?
When we got in the door, it was like 2:15 or something.
Y'all went to the store together in the car?
Yeah.
What store did you go to?
She drove us to the store. We went to Cumberland Farms.
Cumberland?
Yeah, because she gave us a ride back to the house, you know what I'm saying? So he paid her $10. He paid her $10 so she can get some cigarettes. We drove to the store. Me and him went half and on getting a 12-pack of beer. And
What kind of beer did you guys get?
Bud Light
Cans or bottles?
12-pack.
12-pack.
And
He went in the store?
no, we waited. Yeah, the guy went to the store. We sat in the car. There was a sheriff posted out front of the Cumberland Farm at that time.
There was?
Mm-hmm. He was like right in front of the doors when you go over. That's where we were.
What did he look like? Do you remember? Did you see him?
I don't quite remember.
And who went in the store?
Ashley's boyfriend.
Ashley Morgan went in and bought the beer.
What does he look like?
What does he look like?
He's taller than me, long dreads.
He's black?
From gold teeth.
Or gold teeth? What does he wear?
White teeth.
Okay.
Yellow. I think it was yellow canvas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after you got the beer, where'd you go right there?
We went back to the crib, drank 1 or 2 of them,
Okay.
sleep.
So you went back to Black's house, get a drink, and go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
That was it.
That was it. That was it. You went to see some of the friends, went back to Black's house. You hung out for a while, you went out for smokes. Guy with the pickup truck comes by, talks to you about regular repo. You tell him a lot of who. You decide, hey man, it's called fucking around. You guys decide to call a girlfriend of yours or friend of yours. You tell, hey, I want to go get some fucking beer. Who paid for it?
I paid for the beer.
Yeah.
Me and him went half and half.
Half and half? How much it was?
He gave her $10, I think. Doesn't the 12-pack cost like 13?
What you got me, brother? I don't drink beer.
Yeah, about 13, 14
I
bucks.
like doing that.
So you guys half the money, you went and got the beer. Her boyfriend went in and got the beer at Cumberland Farms over there. Once you got the beer, you guys went back. Did you give him any beer? Any
Yeah, we gave him like 2 of them.
2 bottles of beer?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they dropped you back at Black's house.
Mm-hmm.
You finished the beer inside or outside?
We finished the beer inside. We went inside.
They went inside your room, drank the beer, full of shit,
smoked a cigarette,
and crashed for the night.
crashed in the night.
Okay, what time did you wake up?
I say I woke up around 11:30.
About 11:30 that morning, Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you hear anything that was going on? Tuesday morning?
Bobby's mom, when we woke up, Bobby's mom told us about everything that happened on the news because Bobby said he seen his mom. He seen his grandmother on the news and everything. So I laughed about that because I remember they were talking about that.
Oh, you heard what happened?
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
I heard that the lady got pushed down into the dirt things over there by 6th Ave, and I heard they tried to push the car on her, but the thing went halfway. Something like that. Right. And I heard she called out or something. Right. But I didn't hear the full story.
Okay. Did you own a bunch of sneakers? Everybody does.
Well, actually, I lost all my pairs. I'm all pairs from Bobby. I got 2 white pairs.
What are they?
Air Force One Nikes and Air Force 2 Nikes.
Okay, so they're Nikes.
Yeah, both a pair.
And that's the only pair you guys have? Do you have any in the last couple of days?
Those are the only pair I have.
That's the only pair you have, right? Okay. All right, this is what I got, and this is the problem what happened, okay? We've been interviewing everybody for this case, and we've been interviewing everybody for what happened, okay, to this old lady, okay? Yeah, it was tragic what happened. Tragedy is not about that. Not the point, okay? It's not the point because the sheriff, governor, everybody is up in arms. Okay, and they want it done. The problem we got right now is that we're getting information. And the information that we got was that you and Bobby were out that night, and you guys are the ones that did the home invasion. Yeah. Okay, now I'm talking to you straight. You've been straight. I have no problem with that. Yeah, I have nothing to lie with. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Everything. Okay, and this is what we hear. This is what we need to know. Okay. All right, go for that.
Listen, remember the thing when we talked about, everybody's got to get the ball?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is your opportunity to get the ball. Okay? And I can look at you and understand that you probably experience a lot of butterflies right now. Okay? Right?
Because I don't know.
Okay, but we talked to you. We read your rights, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And you understood them. You understand where we're coming from. Okay? We played it straight to you. Okay? I think somebody else is trying to get the ball ahead of you. Okay? And that may be true. We got to figure out who's bullshitting who. The other people that we've talked to or you. Okay? And everybody wants to minimize their involvement and this, that, and everything. And we understand it, but we got to find out who did what. And, we got his back already, right? Okay? So we know where he stands. And we got some other stuff too. And we think there's something to it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you think there's something to it.
Something to it like what?
Like you may be involved. We've talked to people who said that you like to carry knives. Is that true?
I only got one knife. It's a red.
Right. It's a red handled gel knife. It's got like a gel type stuff in the handle.
Gel.
It looks red. What color paint is it? Is it a weird painting?
No, it's a thin knife. About that thin.
How big's the blade?
Blade, I say it's about that long.
And what does it look like?
It looks like a hunting knife.
Yeah, it goes like this.
Straight. No, it has a straight flat, and then at the end where it has that little hook.
That's right.
It meets like that, like far at the end has a crescent moon.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly the knife that was described.
True.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's a coincidence either. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, we don't want you to play dumb with us, okay?
I swear to God, so.
We don't want you to insult us.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been in touch with Bobby today?
I can't get even a hold of my mom. I haven't even been a hold of my father since I've been here.
Do you know where he's at?
He probably might be home.
No, we know where he's at.
Where is he at?
All right. This is a two-way street here. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long day. And this is your opportunity, okay? We got DNA. We got semen. You know what semen is, cum?
I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
We also have it from the sweat, which is where we got it from. It was the sweat of these guys. Okay? And what these guys did was an atrocity. Okay, but the problem is this. I do know for a fact one of the guys didn't want to do it. Okay? But the other guy made it clear that he wanted to do it, so he had to follow up with it, or he had to fuck his brother. All right? Now, the point is this, is that the information comes down and the indictment comes down and puts you as part of this team. Okay? Now, you're telling me everything. You're telling me you want a life. You're telling me you want to do everything right. You've cooperated fully. I have absolutely no problem. You understand your rights. You waived them. I want to talk to you guys. I want to tell you what it is. The problem I got, then the problem I'm going to have is that everybody who is giving us their statements in this case, okay, are saying you. Okay, are saying you. You're part of the team that did this. You're part of the team that broke in through the house. You're part of the team that picked up the lady, drove her away in the car. You're part of the team that did the rape on her. You're part of the team that threw her into the water and threw a vehicle right after her. Okay, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Now, we're here to get this investigation started. It ain't over. It ain't going to stop. Nobody's going to run. Nobody's going to hide. It's a done deal. It's just a matter of when we're going to hit it and when the hammer's coming down. Mm-hmm. All right? Now, this is where I need to know from you. All right? No bullshit, no nothing. Okay? You won't take a polygraph? Polygraph.
Lie detector
test.
Polygraph.
Lie detector test?
When you want me to take one?
You're telling me you're innocent, right? You didn't do nothing.
When you want me to take one of those?
I want to take a polygraph to say you are
I
innocent.
know. That's what I'm saying. When you want me to take it?
Well, we'll set it up. I just need you to tell me.
No problem.
Okay, good. Good. Then I can have that taken care of.
When you want me to take it?
Don't worry about that. We'll take care of it. I'll let you know. But you're telling me right now you had no involvement whatsoever with these two cases. Okay? Both cases. And you know which ones I'm talking about, right? Right around your
The
neighborhood.
first one, the one you're talking about right here, which the other one?
Okay, the other one happened back in March. Early March.
What was it?
You and Andre.
Me and I'm
Absolutely.
This is it. You guys are chilling at the party. The party you're talking about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
You, Andre, Nene, Bobby. Bobby comes up and says, "Let's roll." You get in Andre's car. Andre's driving. Okay. And Bobby gets in. You guys roll up to the mobile home park. Okay. Right there off of C Avenue. You guys go in, break into a woman's house, rape her, steal some shit, a camera, some beads. You roll back, jump in the car. Andre's driving. Boom, you're fucking out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Don't matter about the socks, the gloves, the do-rag, the t-shirt, the hoods, everything that covered up it. Was the fact that covered up did. And that's why we're here now to find out. You've been implicated, and you're going to have to prove to me you did. If you did do it, If you did do it, okay, this is your only chance to discuss and tell me now, straight out, what happened for real and what went on. Because this is deal or no deal, brother. The first one who comes in, which we already got two, I don't believe him. He does. I don't fucking believe him. Okay? But when they come in and they hit it, that's it. It don't matter who the hell wants to come first. And this is why we're here. This is why we're here. This shit isn't going away. You're 18 years old. You're going to get fucked up the ass, without a doubt. It's going to happen. And you either save yourself now and get it going. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. Understand? What are we going to do?
Well, the first one, I didn't think.
Tell us what happened.
What happened?
The first one, they were talking about, hey, man, let's go do this stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's too risky. It causes a problem. Nah, I'm trying to get it good, you know what I'm saying? Right.
Were you at that party I was talking about, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I was at that party, but I don't think it was at a party that this happened, because I don't think so. Because I remember when I was at a party, I went to the club.
all right, so let's go from there.
I want to hear your truth. Don't bullshit me. I'm telling you now, man. You come across with the truth, you tell it to me the way it is, then we'll do it. If you don't, I don't give a fuck what happens. You got it? Let's talk, brother, now. No bullshit.
It's when at the party I went to the club. Now this other thing, I don't know what happened. 'Cause they said they were going out that night, and I said, nah, y'all can go ahead, and I just stayed home. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want the drama. So then next thing I know, next morning I heard, yo, man, they did such and such. I heard they did such and such and such.
Who's that? Who's that? Names. Give me names.
Andre. All I heard was Andre's name. That's the only name I heard.
Okay. You heard Andre's name on the first one.
Yeah, I heard Andre's name.
Okay.
The second one, somebody told me, like I've been hearing that they said it was Nan. That's the second one that I heard.
Who?
Nan.
Who's that?
They call him Pasco or something. That's what I heard on the second one. So you know what I'm saying.
Who told you that?
I've been like, you know, people in the street that, you know, you hear it around the grapevine, you know how they say you heard it from the grapevine.
When we talk about stays here, I'm not going to fuck around, I'm not going to jerk around, but I need to know names, who, what, when, and where. You're telling me you're not involved? You're not telling me you're not involved in either one of these? Well, and I'm telling you now, this is it. Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, the first one, the first one I was with them, but I didn't do anything.
All right, well,
Honestly, God.
tell us how it went down.
What happened?
The first one, Andre drove the car. I don't know who the other dude was, because he said it's some friend of his. So I was like, yeah, whatever. So I was sitting in the car. They told him to go in the house. They were in the house. I was waiting. And the next thing I said, 25 minutes later, I said, bust out, take off. I took the car. They took off.
Who's they?
I mean, we took off.
Who's they?
Andre, and he said something to do from David City.
Don't do that to me. Don't do it to me.
No, I swear to God.
You're there, but I'm telling you now, I'm not going to go with this shit, honest. Okay, I'm telling you now, I'm with you, and I'm not here to hurt you. But God damn it, I'm not going to be jerked off.
Yes,
Okay, I know who it was. So who was with you and Andre on the first one?
the first one, I'm for honestly, sir, I do not know who the second dude was. I swear to you, I'm telling you the truth straight from my eyes. I do not know who the second dude was. I swear to God.
And you're telling me you had nothing to do with the first one other than going into the house with the lady and the other guy did everything?
Yes, sir.
And you don't know who the other guy is, though?
The other guy?
Yeah.
No, sir.
You really got to think on this, Jathaniel. I'm telling you, this ain't jiving out. This isn't going to work. Please, sir, please. You want to help yourself, please help yourself. I'm giving you a shot. I walk out of here, you're fucked. Please.
Second guy.
It was who? Okay. When they got back in the car, what did they have in their hands? Like what?
I don't know where you just said.
Speak up. I can't hear you, brother. I can't hear. I'm deaf.
The camera where you just said they had it.
Okay.
What were they wearing?
Hoodies, masks,
What kind of masks?
shirt masks.
Do-rags, t-shirts, why? T-shirt, mask. Okay, so they put the t-shirts around their face. And they had hoods on?
Yes.
What kind of hoods?
Wear regular sweater, but it's a t-shirt.
Okay. All right.
Did he tell you what they did inside?
They told me that they robbed me. That's all they told me.
That's it.
They told me, yeah.
Where was the car parked?
The car was parked, I say, 7 houses back.
On the street or in somebody's driveway?
Like it was in the driveway on the street.
Why did they pick this house? Do you know?
I have no clue. I guess they just thought it was a house that just looked right or something.
Why would it look right?
I guess because it was dark and, it just looked like a house out of the obvious that looked perfect. You know what I mean?
Okay. And where were you when this went down?
Where was I? I was at the front door.
Okay, you were on the front door. Who was in the car waiting for you in the first one?
Who was in the car? Andre was in the
Andre was in the car, and then who was the guy with you?
The guy was in the
Tell me, please.
Bobby Black?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're a young man, okay? Do you understand? And no one's perfect. And I think a lot of peer pressure played into this. You gave in to some other people's bad decision making, but you're on the right path. Do you understand?
My name come up.
Your choice on that, bro. Your choice on that. You're here, you're talking.
Okay.
You agreed, but I don't want to do nothing you don't want to do.
We're not, once again, we told you.
I don't want my name coming up because that's going to cause problem. I mean, it may not cause problem for me in here, but if I get out there.
I'll tell you what, before I even go into anything, let me make this perfectly clear. Again, we don't make promises. We don't make any deal. We're here for the truth. You're here telling me the truth. You're here complying. You're telling me nobody's threatened you. Nobody's done anything to hurt you.
Have we threatened you?
You're saying this because it's your heart, because you know what's right. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Because it's what you want to do. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now that we know the first one occurred, just like you said, with Andre driving and you and Bobby in the house, you're telling me that you did not rape the lady. Tell me the truth.
I was about to.
Okay.
You said it.
But you didn't.
I thought about it.
Okay, good. Let's put that away for a second. Go to the second one now. Okay? How did you guys come across doing the second one?
The second one.
The night before last?
The second one, he told me.
Who's he, buddy?
Bobby.
Bobby. Okay.
Please talk up. I apologize. I cannot hear in my right ear. I'm deaf. I apologize.
He told me that when we get there, he wants we scoped out the house. He said he wanted to get that house. He said when we get there, he's gonna pick up a brick. He said he's gonna throw it through the window. I go through the window and grab it.
Okay. So how did you pick that house?
She was still awake.
Okay. And where could you see inside the house?
Yeah,
You could? Where was she at?
she was in the living room.
And where were you guys standing?
We were standing in front of the room, outside of the window.
Okay. Did somebody knock on the door?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
How many times did you knock?
All I did was knock 6 times.
All in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Right in a row?
Yes, sir.
Which door did you knock on?
It was the back door.
And what did the person inside do?
She just looked out the window. She just looked out the window and closed it.
Did she say anything to you? Did you guys say anything to her?
Like, I was hiding, but she didn't open the door.
What were you wearing?
Me, I was wearing a hoodie that time with a face mask.
What color was your face mask?
I think it was white or something.
It was white.
I think so.
And what kind of pants were you wearing?
Blue pants.
How about your shoes?
Black.
Was it the shoes that you wore when you got brought in here?
No, sir.
It's a different pair? And where are those shoes at now?
Those shoes, I think I threw them away.
Where at?
I threw them away somewhere at the trash dumpster over by 6th Ave.
6th Ave? Okay. When you were knocking on the door, where was Bobby at?
He was in the back.
In the back? What was he doing?
He was telling me, he was just insisting me on what's the area. He was telling me to knock and everything and do all that.
Okay.
And then anyway, finally got time, and then he went around, she wouldn't open the door.
Okay.
He ran around.
To the front?
Yeah, he was telling me that if we break this glass or break the window, he wants me to go through first. So he broke the window.
How did he break the window?
Picked up, one of those cinder block things around her house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he threw it through the window.
I went through the window. All I did was grab her. I didn't stab her or anything, sir.
Okay. Did you have something on your hands?
So,
And what did he have on his hands?
gloves.
He had gloves on? Okay. So he had gloves on and you had socks on. Okay. You went through the window first
Yes.
and he followed you?
No, he waited for me to unlock the door.
He did. So when you got in, when you walked through, where did you see her at?
I met her at the sofa.
Okay. What was she doing?
She was giving me to go to the cell phone, so I just grabbed her from him.
Okay. Did you give her a shot to the face?
No, I didn't give her a shot. I grabbed her and told her to unlock the door. I was trying to tell her to be quiet.
Was she screaming?
Like she was trying to scream.
Okay. What did Bobby do? He comes in through the front door?
Yeah.
And what does Bobby do then?
Caught her one, told her to be quiet.
Where did he catch her?
I think he caught one in the mouth.
He caught her in the mouth? Okay. What do you do next?
Well, we brought her outside.
Oh, no. Before that, do you guys take anything from inside the house?
All we did was grab the money. That's it.
Okay. Where was the money at?
In her purse.
And where was her purse at?
She grabbed it. I think it was in her.
Who followed her to her room?
He did.
He did? And where did you stay?
I stayed in the living room.
You stayed in the living room. And when they come back out, what did she do with the purse?
Dumped it out.
And who went through her stuff?
He did.
You didn't go through it too? You didn't mess with any of it?
No, I really didn't mess with any of it. I was just looking for money. I didn't mess with any of it, really. Pretty much the only thing I did throughout the whole thing, honestly, was did most of the driving.
Okay, so
Honestly, I didn't do anything else.
okay, listen. So you he grabs the money, right? And does he say anything about how much money you got, bitch, or anything like that? Does he ask her? And what does she say?
She said, I don't have that much, but that's all I have right here.
How much did she have, do you know?
It was like $200, something like that.
Was she crying?
No, she wasn't crying.
Was she scared though?
She seemed a little scared, but she seemed calm at the same time.
Okay. How about her dog?
Her dog took off.
He just ran out?
Yeah.
Okay. Who walks outside first? You, her, or Bobby?
He walks outside first. I'm just holding her.
You're holding her?
I can't get down the stairs.
Okay.
They ain't trust when you hold her.
I just said, don't move or else I will punch you. That's all I said.
Okay.
Did you hold any weapon against her?
I just held it on.
You have a knife?
Yeah, I didn't stab anything.
Okay.
Honestly,
Okay, so you held the knife at the house, actually?
yeah.
Was it open?
No, I had it closed the whole time until we got outside, then I opened it.
Okay. Before you got in the car, you opened it? Okay. Where did you get in the car at?
I got in the car. He was driving at first. She was in the passenger seat. I just got in the car and just held the seat, so she didn't get the steering or anything.
So you guys back out, right?
Yeah.
And what do you do then?
Once we hit 301, he starts going on back roads, and then we get to the stop sign. He tells me to start driving. We pull her in the back.
So you start driving. He gets in the back seat,
Yeah.
right? What's going on now?
Well, you know what happened.
Who raped her?
He raped her. I can believe that.
Did he use a condom?
I do not know. I swear to God, I didn't.
What did he say to her?
Was she screaming?
I think she was screaming a little bit. I was trying to tell him, hey man, chill out, man. We don't need to do all that. Let's just try to get this money and go. I was talking the whole time, honest to God.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to him.
So you're driving and he's in the back with the okay.
And what's he saying?
Shut up, bitch, et cetera, stuff like that. I really
Did you hear him say, you better hold your legs up?
yeah.
You did hear him say that?
Yeah.
That's yes, right? Okay. So what bank do you go to?
SunTrust.
How'd you know to go to SunTrust?
He told me to go left and bust left.
So he was directing you where to go.
Yeah.
And
All right.
the driver.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you pull up to the bank, is there anybody there? Do you see anybody in the parking lot?
No, sir.
You don't see a dude leaving?
No, sir.
You don't see any cars in the parking lot at all?
No, sir.
Do you pass any cars on 301?
No, we didn't pass the car. We only passed that car like the whole time.
So when you pull up to the bank, you're driving, he's in the back. Where's she at?
Well, yeah, when we pulled up to the bank, I was driving, she's in the back with him still.
Who gets out of the car first? The van.
I get out, I go around the side, he got out the car with his driver's seat to the pulls her up to the ATM.
He pulls her up to the ATM.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's got the card, the credit card?
He was using the credit card.
Okay.
I was, like, most of the time, I was just the one to tell him.
When you're at the ATM, who's holding her? Him or you? You're holding her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's standing to your right?
Yeah.
Does she try to get money out, but she can't do it?
Yeah, she couldn't do it.
So who ends up sticking the card in there and getting the money?
He sticks the card.
Who punched the numbers on the pad?
I punched him with the card.
Do you remember what the numbers were?
I think it was 9337.
9337?
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. I think it was 9337 or something like that. I'm not sure.
But you punched him in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you get the money, right?
How much you get? I think it was about $200. $300.
200 bucks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any more after that? Yeah, but it said you did a withdrawal limit and everything. Also, that was the limit. Okay.
All right. So after you get the money, you go back to her car, right?
Yeah.
What's her car like? What color is it?
Oh, white. Man.
A white Vinny? Okay. So do you drive now, or does he get in the driver's
I
seat?
was in the driver's seat, and then I just went and just held her again.
Okay. So after the bank, he starts driving, and you're in the back with her.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you get to where you're going? What route do you take? How do you travel?
He took 301 south, bus to the left, took that all the way down, circled around, took the left on 6th Ave and went through.
South to 6th Ave, that don't work.
Like, South Avenue, you know how South Avenue, and you keep going straight down South Avenue, you go to the railroad tracks, and
And
then
you go to Airport Road.
you don't have to take Airport Road. Remember, they built that.
That's right. Oh, yeah. My bad.
And
Yeah.
took the left around and went that way.
Oh, so you come up around that way, you make a left, and you end up at the sand pit?
Yeah.
What do you do then? While you're on your way there, what's he tell you to do?
Where it goes, I was like, oh, man.
Did you have the knife out?
I had the knife. I was just holding it right there. He said, "Split it through." I said, "Nah."
Where'd you have the knife?
I just had it right here. Like if I'm holding it right here, I just had it right here.
Oh, you had it down in front of her, below her chest?
Yeah, I didn't have it out of the
But you had it open, right?
Yeah, it was.
Did she see it?
I think she did.
And what'd she say to you?
She said, "Please don't kill me and stuff." And that kind of ate up and did eat away on my heart. Like, nah, man, this isn't right.
Okay. And you knew that wasn't right.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't right. I thought, were you ever gonna? I couldn't kill this lady. I couldn't do it.
So you never were ever going to attempt her.
I kill her. No, I couldn't do it. Honestly, sir, I couldn't do this. Okay.
So, is he pissed off at you at that point?
Yeah, he was kind of pissed off.
What's he saying? He's like,
he just told her to shut up and shit. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you or something." I forgot what he said.
he said that to you or him? Her.
To her.
So, who gets out of the car when you're at the sand pit first?
He gets out the car first because I'm still holding her. He goes on her side. He holds her and takes her out. I'm standing. After he grabs her, I would just went and stick by the bumper, the rear bumper of the car, and watched everything else.
Okay, and what does he do?
Took her to the side of the cliff and pushed her.
Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
What'd you guys do then?
He went in the car, put it in drive, and it closed.
And it went off?
I didn't mess with the car or the lady.
And it went off?
Yes, sir. Only thing I did to the car was drive.
Okay, so what do you guys do then?
Leave, take off.
You run?
Yeah.
How do you leave there? Do you walk out and run the same way?
No,
No. When you leave the pit, do you go over that mound? Do you guys crawl over that? You run around it?
Leave.
Yeah, when you leave the pit, do you leave that big opening to get to the road, or do you hop over the barbed wire fence?
Leave the big opening.
You leave through the big opening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you go down 6th Avenue
Yes, sir.
towards Zephyr Hills or towards Lakeland? Which way?
Towards Zephyr Hills.
Okay. You said you got rid of your tennis shoes.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get rid of those at?
I got rid of everything in that one dumpster on Airport Road. On where? I'm sorry. That dumpster on Airport Road.
Airport Road. I know where
You
it's
said, oh, I got a question.
It's a green dumpster on Airport Road.
Okay, what about the rest of the clothes?
The rest of the clothes, everything's in there.
Where's his shoes?
What about his stuff? You got to see you got rid of anything?
Yeah, he got rid of pretty much everything. I think he might have kept his shoes. I'm not sure.
What shoes was he wearing?
Some old white ones.
Some old white shoes. So let me just, do you mind if I draw this then? Okay. Listen, listen, here's 6th Avenue, okay? And here's the big sand pit, okay? Railroad tracks. Airport Road, here's Lincoln and Kennedy. There's a house like right here, right? And there's a dumpster like right here, right? Is that the dumpster? Or is
Yep, that's the dumpster. Yep. It's like right by the ditch. Yeah, because that green dumpster is like right near right near that house is carport in the ditch. That's that dumpster.
okay. Do you know what color that house is? Is it blue or something?
I have no clue what color the house is.
But it's close to the road, right?
And I know the house has y'all.
Yeah. Can you just initial that? Sign your name? You're just indicating that that was the dumpster that I think is the dumpster that I'm familiar with on the roadway.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you guys go from there?
Where do we go from there?
Yeah.
Like we said, we went, like I said, with Ashley, we went and got the beer and everything.
Oh, you did do that?
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
okay. All right.
I got the beer and everything, drank and went to sleep.
Okay.
And then you use the money that you got from the robbery to buy all that stuff.
To buy the beer?
Okay. Does anybody else know what happened other than you and Black? And then, of course, Andre on the first one. Anybody else know about this? Has anybody told anybody else about this?
You sure?
Sure. Okay. Everything, and I want to make sure I have this right.
Can I just repeat it?
Yeah,
Toby?
please.
All right. I'm going to go over everything that you told me. And I can't remember everything. And you saw that I didn't take notes for every word that you said. So that's kind of why I want to get it straight. Okay. You and him are chilling outside in front of his house that Monday night, correct? You and Bobby Black. And you saw the old guy across the street. That's true, right? Okay. And eventually he says, let's roll, basically. What are his exact words? Do you remember?
How'd you come up with a plan to do this?
Yeah, I mean, what you...
Come up with a plan to do this.
Actually, they came up with all the ideas and got me.
And you just follow.
How about this one, though? The one that I'm talking about here?
The second one.
This one,
Yeah, this one.
he came up with the plan.
But when?
With the night, I think the night before he came up with most of the plan. And
The night before you planned it?
yeah, the night before.
Sunday night?
Yeah,
And you say he. Who's he?
Bobby Black.
Bobby Black. So you and Bobby Black. Okay.
Okay. This is who we're talking about, right? Bobby Black showed you driver's license photo. Okay. So the night before, you guys are discussing this, and he planned it out and told you. Okay. Now the night that this actually occurred, at what point does he decide that you guys are going to head that way?
head which way?
Towards the house, that trailer.
How'd you pick it? How did you pick that? Out of all those trailers, if you left from his house, you probably walked straight down. I mean, it's really
Did you guys walk or ride bicycles?
We walked over there. We were looking around. Honestly, I pointed out maybe one or two. He was like, nah. Okay. He was the one that pointed out how.
Why would you even point out certain trailers? Because I need to know. Why did I point out? Yeah, why are certain trailers better than others to do a home invasion?
Certain ones, the ones that really have less cars, ones that, if the light is on, see how many people is up, see how many people is in it.
Gotcha.
See how big the trailer is. Because that depends on how many people will be in the trailer.
Okay. All right, so that's how it works. Because it would drive me crazy. I don't understand how you would pick that one house unless you knew the lady. But I'm sure you guys didn't know the lady. She was just a victim of opportunity. Yes. Okay.
Now, that night, did you guys pick this house out that night?
Yeah.
Okay, that night. So you guys, did he say to you while you're chilling, hey, let's roll, it's time?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you guys just start walking towards that trailer park, right? You point out a couple trailers. He's like, nah, I don't like that. Okay, you go up to the back door. He's around towards the front of the trailer. Knock 3 times. She comes to the door. You stand back, right? She walks back away. You don't see her anymore, right? Then he tells you to knock 3 more times. Then knock, knock, knock. Then she comes to the door again, correct? Then she goes back towards the living room, or at least walks away. Then he tells you to come around front. Did he tell you to walk around front?
He told me to be there.
He waved his hand, motioned you. How about that bathroom window? How'd that get broken out? The small window on the side.
Well, he popped that out because he was looking to try to find where he went away first.
And he broke that window?
Yeah, he popped that out.
Oh, he popped it out? Okay. He walks around. You're standing next to him. He takes one of the bricks from the garden edging, which is concrete. He breaks the window. Does he throw it through?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. He goes through the window. You go through the window. You go in. When you come out of that bedroom, you see her. She's got the phone in her hand. You grab her.
This is right before I
Yeah, is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. You grab her. She's got the phone. What do you do with the phone?
Oh, I took that thing and threw it on her. So
So you throw the phone on the sofa. You walk her over to the door. You open it. He comes in. Bobby Black. She starts making noise, about ready to scream. She's trying to scream. Bobby Black punches her in the face. Correct? Bobby's demanding money. Is that true? Do you mention money to her when you're in there?
I just said, "Where's the cash at?"
Okay, because you want to get the cash and get out.
Yeah.
Okay. She says it's in the bedroom. She walks towards the bedroom. Bobby follows her while you stay in the kitchen. She comes back out, dumps the purse out, or does Bobby dump it out?
I think Bobby dumped it out.
He grabs the cash. Who says, hey, where's more money, or something about that?
How do you come up with the thing?
Yeah, the debit
How do you
card.
come up with the debit card? Who says that?
He said that. He was the one that called.
Okay. He says, where's the card? Does she hand it to him, or does he just get it?
Like he was looking through the stuff, or she was about to grab it. He seen it and snatched it.
Okay. So he snatches that up. Who says, is that the car key? Is that Bobby or you?
He was looking for the car.
Okay. So you get the car key. Bobby walks out the door first. You grab her from behind, walk her down, open up the passenger seat, and stick her in the passenger seat and close the door. Correct? You get in the slider.
I forget, do you know there were people who saw you there?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to get them out of it. Okay, I just want you to know that.
That's what I tried to tell him.
Okay.
That loud noise, I thought he found me.
I'm just wanting you to know there were people who saw you guys walking out with her, getting in the car, driving away. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You get in the back seat. You close the door. You get up around her. Do you have the knife out at that point?
Yeah, I just had it.
I had it out in front of her.
Yeah.
You back up. You're in the back seat. He's driving. Correct? She tries to beep the horn a couple times.
Yes, sir.
He fucking gives her another shot, right? Is that true?
Yes, sir. I just grabbed her hand and just tried to hold it.
Okay, because she was trying to honk the horn a couple times, right? You pull out of the lot, get on 301, and you do what?
Pulled out a lot, get on 301, and we started driving straight down 301.
When do you switch drivers?
We get to, I say, you know where the beverage chest is at?
Yeah?
We get somewhere around the beverage chest in the back row, and we get to a stop sign until we get out and start driving.
Okay. He comes around the side. Do you just jump up in the passenger seat or the driver's seat? At the beverage chest, are you actually on 301? You just pull into the parking lot or something?
No, we were on 301. We took a left, and we were on like a back road behind.
Do you know what road?
It was actually it was 301 and south. Actually, a stop sign right when you take a left at the light.
Yeah?
Like if you're coming from that way, going to Dade City. And
Okay, you make a left on South. Okay, you make a left.
We were at that stop sign. That's when we switched drivers.
Okay, and then how do you get back on 301? Or do you drive around for a little bit?
I drive around for a little bit.
Where at?
I went back roads. I took that road straight down, went around the U-turn, went straight down that road.
That's 5th.
Yeah.
You went down 5th.
Yeah.
You cross over 54.
Yeah.
You head towards the cemetery, basically, right? And what's he doing at that point? Has he pulled her to the back seat?
Yeah. What does he do? I want to hear it from you. You what?
Rape.
Okay, when you say rape, how did he rape her?
Totally with the way.
Okay.
And what did he do? Did you see him having sex with her? Sexually assaulting her?
Well, I wasn't really paying attention.
You didn't look back once in a while, or
Trying to tell him to chill out and stuff like that.
was she screaming?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you
Tell him to stop.
Yeah, I tried to tell him to chill out and stop. But that's not what we came here for.
Right. Did he use a condom?
I had no clue.
He didn't. Did you see a condom? I should say.
No, I didn't see one.
Okay, that's good. So then once you're done, you're set. You now drive to the ATM. And again, just really brief. I don't want to just briefly. When you got to the ATM, what happened?
I just held her. She swiped the card maybe 1 or 2 times. That's when she realized she couldn't the way she was doing, she couldn't get in one more. That's when he got the card and started swiping it. I just put in the number and he did the rest of the information.
Okay, what were you wearing? What were you wearing on your face? I don't care about your body. What were you wearing on
I
your
think
face?
I was wearing a white shirt. I think it was a white shirt or something with my hoodie. I think it was crazy.
Okay. And you had a pair. What did you have on your hands?
White socks.
White socks. Okay. And what did he have on?
He had on white clothes.
He had gloves. And what about his face?
I think it was brown. No, matter of fact, he had a white shirt. I had a gray shirt. I think it was.
Okay. All right. And after you got the money, how much money did you get from the ATM?
Like $200.
$200. Okay. And the reason why you couldn't get any more was
Because it said what is it? Your withdrawal for the day had been canceled.
okay. Gotcha. So that you couldn't do it. Then after that, you decided you had to get rid of her, right?
Well, he did.
Okay. Tell me. He's the one who said we got to get rid of her.
Yeah. I didn't really want to do it, honestly.
Right. Okay.
I'm not even kidding.
I believe you. I do. Don't ask this. When you were driving, you were still the driver?
When we got from the ATM machine, he started driving. I was just lieutenant her.
Okay, so you're holding on to the lady and he's driving. And he tells you what in that time frame before you got to the quarry?
Into his throat and all that. I was like, nah, man.
You ain't doing that. Yeah, I can tell you're not that kind of person, man. That you ain't got that in you.
Close looking at that, man. That's like, that could have been my family.
And then you brought the car to the quarry where who threw her into the water? And then who threw the car in?
He did.
And then when you threw her and the car in the quarry, you guys left and ran back to his house.
And laid up, had a couple beers.
Yeah.
Or no, you went to Ashley's.
Yeah, went to Ashley.
Straight there with no shoes on, right?
Well, yeah.
Bare feet?
Yeah, we went straight there to Ashley's. We went to the Cumberland.
With no shoes on.
Yes, sir.
You went from 6th Ave all the way to 19th Street. Do you know her last name?
Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you went there with no shoes. You got rid of your sweatshirts, your T-shirts. What'd you have when you got there? Just your
I had on black shorts and white feet and white feet.
You had any other clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had this already under.
Whose idea was it to get rid of the clothes?
He was here.
What did he say? Get rid of this shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he planned basically this. Yeah, he pretty much planned everything. All with the followers.
Yes.
You had no intentions of ever hurting this lady. And you felt bad. And I don't want the words to come. But how did you feel when this happened?
Shit's still eating my head up today.
Okay.
When you guys got back, did you ever talk about it? Did he ever say, like, man, I got that pussy, man, I tore that up?
When we got back, I really wasn't even hear about it. I just
Since then?
just drank a beer, tried to
Crap, forget about it.
How about since then?
He had laughed about once or twice, but
Where's that knife at now?
the knife, I believe I threw it in the trash. I might have dumped it somewhere on Airport Road, I believe.
Do you remember where? Did you go whoosh, or you just toss it?
Chunked it by the railroad track. You check over there.
They're there. It's there somewhere.
Let me ask you this. You got anything else for that?
Well, I didn't know if we wanted to talk about that other case anymore.
It's up to you. You read address the other one.
Yeah, I got one. What am I looking at?
I don't even know.
That I don't know. But I do want to ask you one thing. On the other case, I'm going to just make sure I got on the other case. Andre drove. You and Black went into the house.
Yes, sir.
Black did the beating on the lady. Did you ever touch the lady?
No, sir.
Did you ever punch the lady?
No, sir.
Okay, and who went through her pocketbook and her purse?
The pocketbook and purse.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it didn't go.
I gave him the pocketbook. He went to.
He went through. Okay.
The only thing I did was just look around.
Gotcha. Okay. And how'd you pick our house? The same way you were saying? You guys went through the house, you checked out, you see how many cars were on the driveway, how many lights were on, and that's the idea, right? And the idea of sexually assaulting that first lady, who was that? Who did that?
That was his idea.
Okay, that was his idea. And who did it? He did it. Okay. Was there condom used in that one?
I think it was.
Okay. And what were you wearing in the first one?
Was I wearing?
Yeah, obvious. What were you wearing?
I can't quite remember clothes colors, but I know sweater, shirt over the face, pants, shorts, and I forgot what shoes.
Okay, and how about the Black? What was he wearing?
Pretty much the same outfit I described myself.
Same outfit as you described. Okay. And then once the deed was done in the first house, you guys left the house and got back in the car with Andre? Yeah. And then where'd you go after that?
Andre rode somewhere. I think Andre rode somewhere by my house and dropped me off, and they took off on somewhere.
And that was it. And then they dropped you off, and then Black and Andre took off somewhere. Yeah. And when they dropped you off at Black's house or your other house?
They dropped me off at my other house.
Yeah, your other house. All right.
And after that, I wasn't affiliated with anything else.
Okay. I want to ask you, and you've been straightforward, and no problem. Of course, you know your rights. You do. And we told you what it is. We have, and throughout this whole interview, has anybody threatened you or coerced you or made any threats for you to give any statements whatsoever?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you a vicious person?
No, sir.
Do you want to hurt people? The actions that you committed in these two incidents, are you sorry?
Yes, sir.
You should keep them up with everyone else.
Okay.
It really takes me today, so that's why.
I don't know.
Let me make the phone calls. I'll make the phone calls.
All right.
What about what you have?
Bro,
I am going to jail though.
well, you've been cooperative, so we're going to see. You know what I mean? Let me tell you this. There is something to say for people cooperating, okay? And if anybody ever tells you that there's not, I'm here to tell you. And like I said, Jimmy and I are straight shooters. There is something to say about that.
Yeah, please don't let them know that I was the one saying about this.
All right.
That could really cause a problem.
All right, have a seat. Just take a seat, man. All right, interview ending with Jathaniel Michael McKnight at 20-40 hours.
Okay, my name. Did you sit on one side or on the other last night? It doesn't matter. Okay. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll give you the lowdown, everything that's going on. You can ask me any questions you want. But because you're in here in jail, it's the same thing that they explained to you last night. I have to read you your Miranda rights. They explained that to you last night. I know last night you spoke to them. I just want to make sure. Yeah. I'll explain that to you. I'll tell you what I'm not here for, and I'll explain everything to you that I know. Well, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You don't have to answer any questions. I spoke to the two guys were out here last night talking to you, the gray hair guy and the dark hair guy. That dark hair guy is working the second case that you and Bobby were involved in. The first case that you and Andre and Bobby were involved in is my case. So I had asked them, the two guys that came out here and interviewed you last night, a couple questions, and I don't know if they asked you them or not, so I just want to clarify a couple things, and then I'll go over everything with you. You can ask me any questions you want. I try to answer whatever questions you have. The first incident, where did you guys start, like before you went over there to that lady's house? Like, this is like a month ago. Where were you guys beforehand?
I remember they were saying we were at a party. I don't remember being at a party. I remember Andre and Bobby coming to get me.
Were you living at home at the time, or were you living?
I haven't lived at home since. I've been on my own since December.
Okay. Yeah, Bobby had told me when I was there that your mom had kicked you out or something.
Yeah, and disagreements and everything, so I just moved out.
Okay.
I was trying to do it on my own, and then when Bobby let me about 2.5 weeks ago or so.
Were you living with Bobby when this first incident happened, where Andre was involved? So you weren't living with him? Were you staying with somebody?
Yeah. I was staying 2 houses down. They used to live there before they moved.
2 houses down from
Bobby's house.
Oh, from Bobby's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it like somebody was staying there, or was it like a vacant place you were just, going and staying in because it's just for a place to stay?
No, it was somebody was staying there.
Okay. So you were staying there, and did Andre and Bobby come and pick you up that night?
They came and got me, telling me, let's go.
Did they tell you what was going on or anything like that?
They didn't really give me too much information.
Okay. Did you get the feeling that both Andre and Bobby knew that they were going to do something?
Yeah, I got the kind of that feeling.
Did they say something to you, like, let's go rob somebody or lick somebody or whatever you call?
You know what time it is?
You know what time it is?
Yeah, something like that.
And that's kind of like, what they mean when they say, you know what time it is? Okay. And did you guys go straight to that area where that lady lived, or somewhere else first, to go out and pick up some weed, or?
No, they went straight to that area. They looked around. They picked out the house.
Andre and Bobby did?
Yeah, they parked the car.
And where did they park the car?
Andre parked the car, say, a couple houses back from that house.
On the same street or on a different street? So on the same street that lady lives
He
on?
parked in somebody's garage.
In like a garage or like a carport?
A garage. No, a carport garage.
And it was on the same street?
Yes.
And it was like a couple houses down?
Yes.
Okay. And did all three of you get out of the car, or did Andre stay in the car?
Andre stayed in the car and I hopped out with Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do any of the rape or anything like that.
Okay. And then how was that house picked?
Because it was dark and small, so it would only be like one person.
Okay. And who picked out the house?
He did.
Who's he? Bobby did. So this is basically Bobby's idea?
Pretty much, like, you know how they say pinky in the brain?
Yeah.
I would be considered pinky. He was the brain.
Okay.
Both of them. He was the brain.
Okay. So you picked it out because it was a small house?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it picked out at all because it was, like anything, like the lady had a bunch of stuffed animals in her car, or because she had like certain clothing outside that you knew there'd be just a woman there, or no? And then did you guys like just go to that house, or did you go to another house first? Okay, because the next door neighbor says that she heard a loud noise outside of her house first. She thought somebody was trying to get in her house, like the house right next to that lady that we're talking about.
We just went to that house. Yeah,
Okay, and then,
I learned from them.
you know what?
After that, I learned from them. I don't know where they went, what they did.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what the other guys told me. So, how did you guys get in that lady's house?
Through the window.
Through that window? Which side of the house? Was it the side of the house where the car was? Okay, and how'd you get, like, the window open to get in the house?
Well, pop the screen open, slid it out,
Slid through the window? So that's something that you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You leave the screen inside the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then once you were in the house, how did Bobby get in the house? Same way?
Once I
Or?
was in the house, all I did was wake her up. You know, I didn't stab her or anything. I just woke her up, told her to show me where the keys are, and I just opened the window. Matter of fact, no, I didn't do that. He came through the window right after me.
Okay. She said that she was sound asleep and she was woken up by somebody straddling her. And I don't have a feeling it was you.
No,
I got the impression it was Bobby.
no, that wasn't me.
Do you remember Bobby being, like you in the bedroom back there with Bobby with her, but that Bobby being like on the bed with like a knife to her throat? Because that's what she said.
Yeah, I think that was.
I think that was it. She,
I tapped her with it on her shoulder and said, wake up.
okay.
That's all I did.
Okay. Did you guys look around the house before you woke her up, or just went straight back and found her?
Went straight back and found her.
Okay. Was Bobby kind of telling you what to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Did, the lady in this case, she said that, I'm guessing it was Bobby that was on top of, like, straddling her, that he asked her where, like, her jewelry was or anything like that?
Yeah.
Are you the one that went through the jewelry? Like,
No, I didn't like look through the jewelry. I just looked on top of the desk and
okay.
left it alone.
Okay. Where did you get her camera from?
The camera? Well, Bobby pretty much, like, through everything, he grabbed everything. Like, only thing I grabbed was a purse, handed it to him.
Right.
He searched through the whole purse. He grabbed the car keys. He grabbed the keys to help get outside the door.
Okay.
When after that, he was the one that checked the car and everything, found whatever.
Okay. So you had the camera, but he ended up with it in his hand?
Yeah.
You had it first, but you gave it to him?
Nah, like he grabbed the camera and everything. I just grabbed it to help me light a weight.
Okay. And then the lady said that Bobby, I'm just saying that because he's the one on top of her, that he basically grabbed her arm and had her go out into the living room after that, and that he made her get down on the floor and made her take off her clothing. Okay. And then she said that he told her basically something like, give me head. And she was doing oral sex on him for just a short bit, and then that he asked you if you had a Trojan, and he said yes. Okay. Do you remember? Did you give him a Trojan? Condom, whatever you call them?
I think I did give it to him.
Okay. Okay. Now, what she said, which is different than what you told the detectives last night, is that you actually also put your penis inside of her.
Like when I said that, like slid it in once, but I was like, no, that doesn't feel right. I pulled my shit back up. He went, I ain't gonna lie, like I put it in, but I pull it back out.
Okay.
Like, that's not right.
Okay.
And then he kept going. I stopped.
Okay.
I was like, no.
Did you have a condom on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then she said that after you, then Bobby ended up getting inside of her.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if he was wearing the condom, or you don't know?
He might. I believe he was.
Okay. She said after that, like, Bobby ended up, like, telling you different things to do, like, get keys or something, or?
Yeah, look for the keys out the house.
Did you know where the keys were, or did she tell you where the keys were?
She told me where the keys were.
Which keys did she tell you about? Because there's, like, two sets of keys.
She told me the house key to unlock the door. That was the key to get out the front door.
Out the front door?
Yeah.
Because there was a set of keys, I guess, on a wall by the door where the car is?
Yeah, I think
there's one set of keys.
He grabbed those keys because he has with the car keys and everything. He grabbed the car keys. Matter of fact, he grabbed both the keys. He asked where both the keys was. He grabbed those keys.
Okay.
And grabbed them.
Okay. Do you know, he ended up finding like a set of keys by the front door that were in a box. Do you know anything about that? Because it was kind of strange that he knew right where those were at.
Keys to get out the front door. That's the keys that he found. And then.
So he just found those by accident, maybe?
Yeah, and then he found the house keys. Then he found the car keys.
Okay. And did you go in the refrigerator? She said that the other person, which would be you, the less aggressive person, just opened it and closed it.
Yeah, I think I did, because I think I went to look for some water or something.
Oh, okay. And then she said that who would be Bobby kicked her on her face.
Yeah.
Okay. And that you guys took off.
Yes.
And that she laid in the living room.
Yeah.
And you said before we were talking that you guys went around back over by the car and Bobby went through her car?
Yes.
is what you said? Do you know if you got anything out of the car?
I do not know that.
Okay. And then what'd you say? I'm sorry, what'd you say about the purse that you handed him, the lady's purse?
Oh, like when he had me go through the window first.
Right.
And like I just seen the purse. And I said,
Right.
I seen the purse. And he said, give it to me. So I just handed it to him out the window. And I seen he searched through the whole purse and everything. That's when he threw it in that trash can.
Oh, is this before he even went inside the house?
Yes.
Okay, so the purse was gone through before you guys even went in.
Yes.
Okay, he was asking her for her numbers, for her cards. And she gave him what her numbers were. They were actually, she uses words.
Hmm.
Do you know why Bobby didn't take the purse because he had her codes to her ATM?
I don't know. I guess he wasn't thinking.
Wasn't thinking? So that's why the purse was left there? Okay. Do you know what he took from her purse? Because in Andre's car were rosary beads that were from his lady's purse.
All that stuff, man, I didn't take. He had all that stuff. I didn't take any.
Okay.
I came out empty-handed. The only thing I carried was maybe like a camera, and that's what I did.
Okay. Where did you guys run to, or when you left the place? Where did you guys go?
Ran to Andre's car, and then
Andre was still parked in the same spot?
yeah, and then
So Andre wasn't parked out by 54 in a church parking lot, because that's what he said. He was parked in somebody's driveway down the street, on the same street.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was it on the opposite side of the road as this lady's house?
It was on the opposite side, same road.
Was it the same car that little off-white Infiniti?
Yes.
Okay. And he stayed in the car the whole time?
Yeah.
But you got the impression that he knew
What was going on?
what was going on beforehand and afterhand. He wasn't just innocent
Yeah, he
sitting in the
knew,
car.
they knew what was going on because they came and got me. I was the third, they were the first two in the car because they were the ones hanging out a little bit at that time. So I was out of the question.
Okay.
And then they came to get me from that house on that mission. And then after it was over, they dropped me off and they left somewhere.
Okay. Do you remember what you were wearing that night? You have a hooded sweatshirt on or something?
I don't remember the colors, but I had a hooded sweatshirt, shirt over my face, shorts. I think a shirt over the sweatshirt, and shoes.
Okay. What'd you have? I'm sorry, what'd you have on your hands? You have something on your hands or no?
I don't think I had anything on my hands.
Okay. And what about, do you remember what Bobby was wearing?
Pretty much the same suit like me.
Okay. Do you remember if Bobby had anything on his hands?
I don't think he did.
Because I know the second one, I guess you guys might have had socks on your hands or something, or gloves. Okay. Something else I was going to ask you. When you left there, you said that, did they drop you back off?
Did they drop me back off?
Did they leave you? The other detective told me that they left you somewhere, they dropped you off back at a house and they went off somewhere?
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, they dropped me back off at the house I was living in.
Okay. Did they say where they were going?
No.
No.
They just dropped me off and they left.
Okay. The lady in this case, her nightgown was taken and found in Andre's trunk. Do you know who took her nightgown?
He might have took the nightgown because I didn't take the nightgown.
And her keys were found in Andre's driver's side door. I guess from what I was told, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but that maybe Bobby was going to go back or Andre was going to go back and try to steal the car?
Yeah, if it was driver's side door, that's wrong because I was sitting in the back seat.
Did you hear one of them say that they were going to try to go back and steal the car?
No, I didn't hear one of them say that.
Okay. And then the rosary beads were hanging from Andre's rearview mirror. Do you know, how the rosary beads got there? Was it?
I think Bobby might have put them up there.
Okay.
Either Bobby or Andre. They put those up there because honestly, I didn't touch anything in the house, like I said, but that camera.
Okay. What about a knife? I think that's the one thing I was going to mention. She said that a knife was used.
He had a knife.
Bobby had a knife? Because Andre told me that you like knives.
Yeah, I believe I had a knife also. That's when I said I tapped her to wake her up with it. I never used it on her or anything.
So you had the knife in your hand, you just tapped her with it, but you never used it? Because she said that Bobby actually held a knife to her throat.
Yeah, see, I just tapped her with it to wake her up. I didn't use it for anything else.
Okay. Do you know where that knife is now?
I think I threw it somewhere about 6th Avenue in the bushes somewhere. I don't know where. So by those railroad tracks.
Okay. That was after, you guys did that after the second incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from this first incident, you guys really didn't get like any money or anything like that? No. Okay. I don't think there's anything I was going to ask you, but you're sure that Andre knew what was going on? Like he wasn't just like innocent giving you guys a ride and didn't know that you guys were?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you made it to the end somehow, some way. Either you listened to this garbage audio, or you skipped through just to see me at the end. Either way, I appreciate you. Jathaniel was convicted by a jury of his peers. He was sentenced to life in prison, and he's been appealing his sentence. He claims his confession was coerced. He claims he's innocent. He claims he didn't commit these crimes, and he wants to be home with his friends and family. And his best friend claims he's innocent. I don't know one way or the other. I'm not the judge or the jury. I'm just the host of 2 crime shows on YouTube, Crime Circus and the Crime Circus Cult. I've got a lot of videos coming, more audio interrogations, and a lot more video interrogations as well. Please consider joining my Patreon or YouTube membership to help support this channel, as I'm always obtaining new records. And these records aren't always cheap. Sometimes I get lucky, but not always. Anyways, until next time, remember to stay safe out there because you know it's a dangerous world.